Hi everyone, welcome to my Facebook Live today. My name's Mandy Witherby from Mandy's Papercraft Creations and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. Welcome, welcome. So I am coming to you on a different day at a different time today. Did I just say that right? A different time on a different day. That's right. Normally I come live on Mondays at 4 o'clock and today I'm Tuesday at 2 o'clock. So changing it up a little bit. No, we've had our little puppy had her desexing surgery last week, and so she had her follow-up visit or her pre-op check yesterday afternoon. So I wasn't able to come live yesterday. Had hoped that I might have been able to do it last night, but things didn't really go as planned and time got away, and by the time we got home and got her settled and blah blah blah. Anyway, I ran out of time last night, so here I am today just to make up for my missed live yesterday. So it's great to have you all here with me, great to have you here live, and also great to have you, those of you who are watching the replay later on. Thank you so much. All right, so while everybody is jumping on, I'll just bring this up on my iPad, so I'll get that ready right now, so that I can see all of your lovely comments there. So let me know how you are as you're jumping on. Say hi. And there we go. Okay, good. So I can see all the comments there now, which is awesome. Okay, so you might notice my craft room looks a little bit different. I've got a puppy playpen over there in the corner instead of my trolley. My trolley is actually right beside me at the moment, or one of them anyway. My die cutting trolley. Yes, so the last week, while our puppy has been recuperating from her surgery, and we had a few hiccups there because she reacted to the pain medications and she was incredibly sick. So not only was she in pain, but she was also very sick from the pain medications. So had to make another trip back to the vet, change the pain medications, get her some injections to stop her vomiting, and to have an injectable pain medication. And then they changed to a different medication, and then that one gave her the runs, and so she had an upset tummy all week. We had to change her diet and put her on a bland diet, and then we had to stop those medications early as well. So then she had to deal with the pain. Yeah, so it was, and she got conjunctivitis during the week as well. Yeah, it was just a really hard week for her, poor little thing. And so my craft room turned into an animal hospital. So we had mattresses in here, and one of my daughters and I were sleeping in here throughout the week. The girls actually tag teamed, had Brooke in here with me at the beginning of the week, and then she had to go back to work. So then Amber stayed in here with me, with Callie, and as we needed to do things, you know, one of us would stay with her and one of us would jump out. But during the night, we both slept in here on mattresses on the floor with her, to keep a close eye on her, and if one of us was too tired to get up, then the other one would get up. So yeah, it's been a really big, exhausting week, stressful week, and worrying about our little baby. But anyway, she's doing really well now. She's her post-op check went really well yesterday. They're very happy with how her wound has healed. She doesn't have to wear her cone anymore, and we can go back to normal, which is great. So we're still just watching her and keeping an eye on her tummy. So yeah, hi Tina Marie, how you going? Hi Megan, great to have you here. Hi Monica, all the way from New Zealand, great to have you with us as well. So yes, so Megan was asking how her checkup went yesterday. So that's the story of her checkup. Yes, so hopefully you caught that, Megan, as you jumped on. Yeah, so it went really well. She's back to normal. They said she's allowed to resume normal activity levels, but she jumps a lot. So we're still trying to, especially when she gets excited when one of us comes home or something. So we're trying to still discourage her from jumping too much, just to give her insides a little bit more time to heal. The outside's looking really great, but not sure what's going on the inside. So just still taking it easy with her. Starting to reintroduce her normal food back to her very slowly now too, mixing that in with her chicken and rice. So hopefully we can get her her gut functioning properly again and get that back on track, poor little thing. Yeah, she's been through the ringer. And she's only a tiny little thing. Thankfully, she only lost 100 grams through all of that, which was amazing. Because, yeah, she wasn't really keeping anything in properly. And we thought, oh, boy, she's going to have lost so much weight. But she actually only lost 100 grams, so that was really good. Yes, we are exhausted, Tina Marie, yes. So if I'm looking a bit dark under the eyes, you'll understand why. Yes, we haven't had much sleep in the last week, but we have, because we've had the mattresses in the craft room, we took them out, well, one of them in particular, which was in the way of the desks. We took that one out most days. A couple of days we left it in here, and because I just sat on my laptop on the mattress working, because I knew that I wouldn't, yeah, I really needed to just nap when she napped, because that's all the sleep we were getting. Oh, Judy's been at work today and she's struggling to keep her eyes open after work. That's all right. No worries, Judy. Feel free to catch the replay later. All good. You rest. Megan said we've had one of those. It's called jail for when Basil is naughty. Oh, a playpen. Yeah. Now he just goes into jail by himself. That's so cute. We actually have one of those little pop-up playpens we keep here in the craft room. It's usually over in the other corner, but at the moment we've still got one of the day beds there just in case we needed it. We didn't want to pack both of them up too soon and preempt anything. But last night she did sleep upstairs in our bedroom. So, well, actually she slept in Amber's bedroom, and that went well. We weren't sure how that was going to go. And also too, because she's still got a bit of an upset tummy, we weren't sure if she needed the toilet, if we could get her downstairs in time and things like that. But it went okay. So we can probably remove these ones today, or this one today, and put her playpen back in the corner. But generally during the day, she just sleeps in her bed here in the craft room. But when she's really, really overtired and needs to sleep and won't sleep, then we put her in the playpen. And at night time we've got one upstairs as well, and we move that between the rooms depending on whose room she's sleeping in. And we do keep her in a playpen overnight as well, just so she doesn't wander around our rooms and get into mischief. So she's quite used to that. We just put her in that the last couple of nights. Actually, prior to that, she was just sleeping right beside me in her bed, right next to me on my mattress, so that I could keep a close eye on her. And get her in and out, because we couldn't lift her easily, so we couldn't lift her in and out of the playpen. But anyway, she's doing well, so it's all good now. Yeah, so anyway, today I'm going to be playing with some brand new products, and let me just show you. Oh, I had those still in there too. We don't need those. We'll take those out of there. So we have got coming up something very exciting. Well, there's a few exciting things I'm going to tell you about today, actually, before we get onto our project. But we have got the beautiful brand new mini catalogue coming out in January. So this is going to be the January to June 2022. Can you believe that? We're nearly in 2022. Mini catalogue, and this one is going to launch to customers on the 4th of January. Now, being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, we've been able to already order from this catalogue, which is awesome, and my order is on its way. I got a notification today, last night I think it was, actually, to say that it is on its way. So it should be here in the next day or two, hopefully, with some of these brand new products. However, I have a few already. And one of them I got during Onstage, our demonstrator event. And so we're going to be playing with that today. But this is a beautiful, beautiful catalogue. And can you see all my, this is my wish list, right? This is how I do my wish list. I do have a written list as well of these things, but this is how I do it. I put all these sticky notes in the pages of the products that I like, that I want to get. So when my order comes, some of those sticky notes will be removed because I got a few of those things, but not everything. So this is super exciting. Now, if you are a customer, you'll be able to get these products from the 4th of January. But if you don't want to wait and you want to get them now, you can by joining my team. So you can pop them in your starter kit, and then you can also order more if you want to after that. But the starter kit is only $169, but you get to choose $235 worth of product in your starter kit, and you still only pay $169, and you get free shipping on that starter kit as well. So if that sounds like something you might be interested in, feel free to send me a message, and I can certainly give you more information about that and help you along, and you can get those beautiful products now. If you don't have a catalogue and you would like one, and you're not working with a demonstrator currently and you're here in Australia, let me know, because I'd love to send one to you. I have got a bundle of catalogues on their way to me in my order, so they'll arrive this week, and I'll be able to send, well, hopefully it'll be this week, I think it should be, and I can send out one of those brand new catalogues to you, which is super exciting. Now, not only that, but in January we also have Celebration, which is one of our biggest promotions of the year, coming out as well. We have 2 celebrations each year now. We have January and February, which is when this one will be launching on the 4th of January. And then we have, what did we have? August, September, I think it was. I think it was August, September. I'm trying to remember now. Yeah, August, September as well. So this is a great time that you can earn free products with your purchases. So when you purchase over $90, you can choose a free item from the Celebration brochure. And then there's second level items as well for orders over $180. Or you can choose multiples of the level 1 items, which are over for orders over $90. So this one is also going to be launching, but again, because we are demonstrators, or those of us that are demonstrators, we've been able to pre-earn some of those products already. So I've got some of those coming to me as well. So again, as demonstrators, you can get your hands on some of those as well. Oops, I'm dropping my catalogs. So if you'd like a copy of those and you don't already have a demonstrator, let me know, and I'd love to get them out to you. If you would like information about joining my team so that you can get your hands on those products now and then enjoy the 20% discount, then please let me know, because I'd love to give you more information about that as well. All right, so let me say a few more hellos. Who have we got jumping on? Robin's here. Hi, Robin. How you going? And Jenny's here as well. Hey, Jenny. Great to have you with us today. Fantastic. I'm glad that some of you found me, because I'm going live on a different day at a different time. I wasn't sure how many I'd have today, because it's a little bit, different for everyone, and people have got different commitments on different days. But I'm so pleased to have you all here. So thank you so much. You're not bad. That's great, Robin. Great to hear. Now, there is something else. There's one more thing I was going to tell you about before we get started into our project today. We just found out this morning that, and I apologize for the size of my flyer. I printed this thinking it was printing onto A4 paper, and realized I hadn't selected A4 paper. I'd selected photo paper, and then I had to go live, so I didn't have time to reprint it. But tomorrow, can you see that? Tomorrow we have got free shipping on all orders over $45 Australian. That's Australian dollars. So in your market, if you're watching from another country, it will be a different amount. But for Australia, it's $45. New Zealand is $70. So yeah, you get free shipping tomorrow. Now that's 24 hours only. So that is only for tomorrow, the 8th of December. Had to double check the date. That you can get free shipping. So if you need to stock up on anything, don't forget too, we've also got, I didn't get my other flyer out. We've got the last chance sale on at the moment too, with the current mini catalogue products that are retiring, leaving us. And so they are, some of those are on sale up to 60%. And so if you had any of those on your list as well, then this would be a great chance tomorrow to grab them and not pay shipping. So there you go. And there's still some of those items on the clearance rack as well that had been added last week as well. So yeah, so there's quite a few things happening. So if you want to jump onto my online store, and you can check that out tomorrow and get free shipping. So you can go to my online store either via my blog, mandyspapercraftcreations.blogspot.com, or you can go direct to my website, which is mandywitherby.stampinup.net. Either of those, and then click on shop or shop now. I think it's shop. then you can, yeah, go and have a look and have a browse and see if there's anything there that you would like. But great time to stock up on all your consumables as well. So any cardstock you might need, or adhesives and things like that. Even if you just have a smallish order, so long as it's over $45, tomorrow, 8th of December, you'll get free shipping. Yay! So I'm going to pop in an order. There's a few little things that I need, bits and pieces that I realized after I put in my other order. Isn't that always the way? You put in an order and then you realize that there's extra things that you need and think, oh, why didn't I add that in? Or you realize, like, crumb cake cardstock is one thing. We thought we were all good with all our cardstock. We always check every time I go to put in an order, and Amber helps me go through as well and lets me know if we're getting low on anything. And then we decided we were going to make a whole heap of projects that needed crumb cake cardstock, and went, oh, oops, we're not going to have enough. So I'm going to order some of that tomorrow and not pay shipping on it. So that's really cool. We love a saving, don't we? All right. So let me show you some of these brand new products that we're going to be playing with today. What I might do first is I might tip the camera down onto the desktop. I'm just looking to see where I'm going to put my catalogs, because normally I have an extra little table sitting beside me. It's a little one of those little molded plastic tables. It's 1 meter long and can fold it up as needed. I normally have that beside me, and that's where I dump everything. But it's packed away at the moment because we had the animal hospital set up in the craft room all week. I haven't brought the table back out yet. So let me just pop this over the other side. Oh, on the other table. Okay, so what I'll do is I will tip the camera down and I'll show you these brand new products and what we're going to be creating today. So I hope you're excited. Alrighty, so let's cover up the camera. Okay, and flippity flip. All right, we'll get this down onto the desktop. And bear with me for one moment while I get this all ready for you. Oh, squeaky. And I'm going to need to adjust my tripod a little bit better afterwards. It'll do for now, but after I finish, I just noticed that one of the clamps is a bit twisted. But I think it should be all good for today. There we go. All right. So get some lights down here on the desktop. And we'll just straighten that up a tad. Which way do we need to go? This way, I think. Is that better? Make that better or worse? We'll see. A bit better. Still a bit wonky, isn't it? Let's go back the other way, tad. It's always hard to get it just right. All right. So, as I said, oh, I went the wrong way, didn't I? I made that more crooked. That way. So that's where you can shop with me. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy with all that adjusting. Still a little bit crooked, but that's better than it was. All right, so if you would like to shop with me, you can go to mandyspapercraftcreations.blogspot.com or mandywitherby.stampinup.net, as I said. If you go to my blog and you're not yet subscribed to my newsletter, feel free to subscribe there to my newsletter. You'll see the button up the top on the right-hand side, and then that way, once you've subscribed, you'll be able to stay up to date with all the latest Stampin' Up! News, because I try to send out an email newsletter once a week, and that way I can keep everybody up to date. All right, if you're shopping with me and your order is over $50, feel free to use my host code. This is my December host code here, December 2021 host code. And when you use the host code and your order is over $50, I send you a thank you gift. All orders get a lovely thank you card from me, but if it's over $50, then I will send you a gift as well. And I love to look after my customers, so be sure to use that host code so that I can send you that lovely gift. All right, so today what we're going to be using is the In the Moment Cling Stamp Set. So this one is coming out in the new Mini Catalogue. As I said, let me just move that up a little bit. So it'll be available really, really soon, in January, in fact, 4th of January, or now if you're a demonstrator. I'm going to need to move this up a little bit because I think I've got my camera down a bit lower than what I normally have it. And so it's made my desk space a little bit smaller. All right, can you see that there? Yeah, so this is really beautiful. It's got some gorgeous sentiments in it as well. You're in my thoughts. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is relax. And you're always so good to others. Be good to yourself too. Sometimes we just really need to send cards with those types of messages, don't we? And I love this one with the lady reading her book with her little doggy snuggled up to her. That's really, really cute. Sorry, this is still really crooked. It's really bothering me. Oh, I figured that if it's bothering me, it's probably bothering everybody else too. So try and get them nice and straight. Yeah, so beautiful line work in these ones. But we're going to be using this stamp here with the girl looking out. This reminds me of looking out over the veranda or looking out over a balcony or even a boardwalk out over the beach. So that's kind of what I was going for, looking out towards the beach or the ocean. So that's the one we're going to be using today. We're also going to be using some new designer series paper that is coming out in the catalogue. So this is from a different suite, and this is the Heart and Home designer series paper. And I think I did show this one. Did I show this one before? I think I may have. I'll just take it out of the packet. And this one has got some gorgeous paper. You can see I've been using it, so it's all chopped up. But I'll show you. So it comes in 12 by 12 inches, and this is the opposite side of this. There's a larger sheet in the packet, but it's just got these gorgeous prints on here, gorgeous floral prints, and then on the reverse side you've got all these different wood textures. But you can see some of these, and all these wood textures, they're like a whitewash wood texture, which is great for beachy themed cards or nature inspired themed cards. But they're just so, so pretty, these papers. I really love them. Aren't they beautiful? So again, this one's going to be in the new mini catalogue that will be coming out in January. This one's a great paper too. Look at that one. It's really cool. So you can see I've been using them quite a bit. They're all chopped up. This one's a great one too. Look at all that wood. Isn't that gorgeous? That's the other side of that blue one. And then we've got that one, which I think is the opposite side of the one that we're using. No, not the one that we're using. This one. That one. Yeah. So yeah, so that's all of the paper. But as you can see, yeah, very popular in this household because we've already been using this and chopping it. So we've got to chop our paper. We've got to chop our beautiful paper. We need to use it. It's not there just to look at and admire. I mean, we can look at it and admire it as we're using it too. So I won't try to pop that back in the bag while I'm talking because it'll just take too long. So we're going to use some of that beautiful wood grain paper. Now I'm going to be showing you a couple of techniques as well today. We're going to be using some blending brushes with some of our ink pads. And we're going to be using some Stampin' blends as well. So we're going to be doing some colouring with some Stampin' blends, and we'll do a little bit of shading as well, just some really easy shading. Sorry, I'm dropping them everywhere. And we're going to be doing a bit of distressing as well. So we're doing a few different techniques today. So let me show you the project that we're going to be making. Move these over to the sides. There we go. This is my project for today that I have designed, and I really love this one. It just gives a really lovely summer beachy sort of feel to it, I think anyway, with her looking out towards the horizon. This is kind of to represent the sand and, you know, the sky, and I guess that was my vision, looking out to the ocean, but I guess it could be just looking out over a balcony, yeah, whatever. But I love the summery sort of feel and colours to it. Oh, thank you, Tina Marie. I'm glad you like it. Hey, Julie. I just saw that you jumped on. How you going? Great to have you here. So that's the card that we're going to be creating. Really, really easy layout to do, and very minimal products that I'm using, but we're just going to be doing a little bit of technique. So I'm going to show you how to do those today. So I'll tell you what colors we're going to be using. So today we are using Sahara Sand, Balmy Blue, Pacific Point, and So Saffron. So we've just got the 4 colors today, and I've got blending brushes for those ones. I've got I've got the different blending brushes for the different colors, just so that I didn't mix the colors. And then for the Stampin' blends, we've got a few different colors here, and I'm just telling you all these colors in case you want to replicate this project at any time. You can go back and watch the video. We also need Memento as well for our stamping, so I forgot to mention that one. So you can go back and recreate this, and I'll give you all the measurements and everything too. But we have got bronze, we have got light crumb cake and dark crumb cake, so that's our combo. We've got light petal pink, that's the one that we're using for the skin tone. Light daffodil delight for the hair. Then we've got light pumpkin pie and dark pumpkin pie for her dress. And then of course we needed something for in her glass, and I gave her a glass of red wine, even though I personally don't drink myself, but I thought that looked like what she was holding. We've got light cherry cobbler there as well. All right, so they are the colors that we are using. Now also too, we're going to be using some brand new embellishments also from the new mini catalogue, the classic matte dots. These are really great. They come in white. The other white ones are hidden up under the top there. You'll see when I pull them out. Very vanilla, basic grey and basic black. So these are fantastic, and we're using some of the grey ones today. And then we're going to be using some Baker's Twine. This is out of the annual catalogue, the Baker's Twine Essentials Pack, and you've got the 5 different colours there. So we're going to be using the white today out of that one. And the dies that we're going to be using are from the annual catalogue as well. So we're using a little bit of annual catalogue, a little bit of mini catalogue, so we can combine them. So this is the Hippos and Friends dies. This is them here, and there is a coordinating stamp set that goes with this one, but I'm actually just using these large labels and these ones too, using both labels today. I love this set for the labels. I mean, yes, I have used them with the stamp set too, the coordinating stamp set, but I love using them for the labels. I use the labels more so probably than the stamp set actually. So this is a great die set to have in your collection. Okay, so let me pop the card to the side. I've got my stamps all ready to go. I'll pop my card to the side there, and I'll pop my blends over there out of the way, and we will take out our pack of all of our bits and pieces, and we'll get ready. Oh, we're also doing some masking today as well. That's another technique I'm going to show you. So we're using about 4 different techniques today. So that's always fun. All right, so let me go through all of the pieces for you to tell you what we have. So we have got a piece of crumb cake cardstock. Now this measures 29.7 centimeters, so it's a full length of an A4 sheet by 10.5 centimeters, and then we've scored and folded that at 14.85, okay, to create our card base. Now this is a tent fold card, so it opens up that way. I've already done my insert. I did that last night just ahead of time to save time. I'll talk about that later. So that's that. Then we've got a piece of vellum, and the vellum measures 7.5 centimeters by 14.4 centimeters. We've got some designer series paper, which we're going to distress, but we're starting out with a piece that is 10.5 by 10.5 centimeters. We're going to do some tearing on that, and then some ink distressing around the edges. And then we've got our piece of thick basic white, and I'm using thick because I'm using Stampin' blends and it has a better absorbency for the Stampin' blends. So this one is a full card front size, so it's 10.5 centimeters by 14.85 centimeters. We're going to be doing our stamping and our die cutting, and we're using a section there for our sentiment as well. Okay, now the other thing you're going to need is some sticky notes. So I've got a couple of large sticky notes, and I've got a smaller sticky note that I used to create a mask of the stamped image. I'll talk you through that as we go. All right, so let's get started. We're going to first stamp our sentiment, and then I'm going to cut out the section that I need sort of to die cut that, so that I know the area I need to then stamp my other image and do some colouring up there. So we can just use the one piece of cardstock. All right, so let's pop down a little bit of small grid paper just to protect our surface. Now we are using red rubber stamps. I didn't mention that actually. So this is a cling stamp set, which is the red rubber stamps. So these ones already have the foam built into them, so you've got that lovely cushioning in them. And I'm using the sentiment. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is relax. Now I need to make sure that I'm going to be able to fit my die around where I'm stamping my images. So, whoops. So I'll just bring in my dies, and we use them as a little bit of a template just to make sure, using the second smallest, I don't even know what shape you call that. It's kind of a rectangle with the corners cut off. We're using that one for our sentiment, and then we're using the largest squarish looking one with the fancy detail. I don't know what you call that, for our other image. So that's kind of how they're going to be positioned. All right, there we go. Okay, so they're going to be positioned sort of like that. So let's ink up our sentiment. So when I'm using Memento, because it's a solid linen pad, I like to rub it first and then tap. If you just rub, you don't get enough ink coverage, but it does kind of help, I find, to get the ink to stick to the stamp. All right, so work out roughly where that's going to go. Stamp that down there. Beautiful, good. And this one, the word relax, I'm not sure if you can see that there, but the word relax has got a little bit of like a distressed look to it, which I really like. So if you stamp it and think, oh, hang on, it didn't stamp fully solid, it's not supposed to. Okay, so there's got some little white spaces there in the actual stamping. I'm not sure if you can see that on camera very well, but just take my word for it. Oh, Julie said she's good. She has the opportunity to craft along today. Yay! That's awesome, Julie. What are you making today? What are you crafting along with? All right, so I'll pop that aside. So I always love to know what everybody is doing. Is anybody else crafting along with me today? Julie is. What's everybody else up to? All right, so what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to just line this up and work out where I want to have this. Oh, why did I put that back? I put that die back. That was silly. And that one's going to go there. So what I'm going to do, so that I know that I've got enough space there, I'm just going to roughly cut between the two. I'll go just above this one. I'm just going to separate those two pieces of cardstock. Because we're going to be doing some inking, I want to make sure that I don't over ink over my sentiment. So I've got my sentiment ready to die cut, and now this leaves me with enough cardstock to stamp my other image. Okay, so make sure that we are stamping it roughly there in the middle. All right, so I've got the girl that's looking over the balcony there with the seagulls in the background. And let's just ink that up. All right, so this time I'm putting my stamp face up and taking the ink pad to my stamp because the stamp's a little bit bigger than the ink pad. So again, I'm rubbing and then finishing with a tap, tap, tap. Make sure I get an even coverage, and I didn't there on her dress. Make sure we get the ink over all the surface there. I think that looks better. All right, and then basically we're going to be stamping this in the middle. Okay, great. Now, before we color with the Stampin' Blends, we need to let that ink dry, okay? Because if we don't let that dry, the Stampin' Blends will cause it to smudge a little bit. So we'll let that dry. We'll pop that over to the side. Now what we want to do is take a sticky note. Actually, is that going to fit on there? Yeah. Take a sticky note, and this is one I've just chopped up. The sticky part, have that at the top, and we're going to stamp another image of the lady, and we want to stamp so that we've got a little bit of the sticky at the top where her hat is. Don't worry about the seagulls because we're cutting them out, but we want to stamp her like that, and we're going to create a mask. Okay, so it doesn't matter if this one doesn't stamp as well. I didn't ink that one up as well, but that doesn't matter because we're going to be cutting that out anyway. All right, so let me just clean my stamp. I'll just give that a little clean over here. Get that ink off. There we go. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we are going to fussy cut around this lady. Now what we want to do is we want to cut just on the inside of the lines. Okay, just on the inside, not on the outside, but just on the inside of the lines of her whole body, her clothes, her shirt, her hat, everything. And then you've got this little bit in here. So what I did is when I got to that bit is I just folded that over, just did a little snip. If you've got a craft knife, you can use a craft knife as well. And then I just poked my scissors in there and then just carefully cut all of those bits out. So I won't complete that now because it will take time, and I've already got one prepared. So this is the one that I prepared. So the top of the sticky note is sticky under her hat. Now I worked mine a little bit. So what I ended up doing, because just that part was sticky, but her little arms are a little bit more delicate. So what I did is I took a little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue. I just put a little bit on the bottom of her dress to hold her dress down, on her arm and on her other elbow, and then I let that glue dry. When that dries, that becomes tacky, but it's removable. Okay, so we can use that now as a mask, and even though that's tacky, that'll come back off. Okay, so what we're going to do, bring back in our stamped image. Okay, and we're now going to put this image, the sticky note image, over the top of the other image. And because we cut just inside the lines, you should be able to just see the outside lines of the actual stamped image on the white cardstock. Okay, so now you can see there she's masked off. So what that means is now we can color our background, and we're not going to get color on the actual girl because we're going to color the girl in Stampin' Blends, but we're going to do the background with our blending brushes. All right, but we've got her masked off, and you'll see that even though I have that glue on there, it peels back off. So you don't want too much, you just want a little bit, and let it dry and go tacky, and then it creates like a sticky note. So you're adding to the sticky note. These two pieces of sticky note, these were just spare ones that I had. I was going to do sort of like a horizon, but when I did the first one, it was a bit harsh. So I am doing a horizon, but I'm doing it more softly. So I didn't end up using these ones on the second project, my second sample. Okay, so let's bring in all of our colored inks now. And we're going to start with our So Saffron. All right, so we're going to do all our coloring first, and then we'll do all of our die cutting. So Saffron, just pick that up with your blending brush. Just check it on your scrap paper first to make sure it's not too heavy. And we are just going to color around her. And you probably need to do this several times to get it nice and dark. And we're just going basically up to the top there of the balcony. Now when you're colouring with your Stampin' blend, your blending brushes, it is a good idea to just tap off any excess so you don't get any heavy blobs of colour. And if you start off the page and then take it onto the page, it kind of removes any heavy coloration or blobs of colour that can make it look a little bit sort of messy. So we're going to over colour because we're going to die cut this out, but we want to make sure that we don't miss any sections. So we can colour right to the edges, even though we know that we're going to be die cutting that out. Now the thing is with this too is with this bottom colour and the top colour, you can kind of add, or any of the colours really, you can add a bit more after you've die cut if you find that the colours aren't really as dark as you wanted. But if you kind of get, you know, get most of it done before you die cut it, then that is best. Well, I find that that's best for me anyway. Just want a bit more up here. There we go. And depending on the amount of pressure as well that you put on the head of your brush, some people like to put their thumb on it, their finger on it. I sort of like to hold it at the side. I feel like I've got more control over it. Now you can go over that mask because that colour's not going to go through onto her dress. Now with this little lady, you can create a top and a skirt, or it can be a dress, either or. So you might want a different colour skirt to the top, or as I've done it in mine, you might want to have her wearing a dress, totally up to you. So make sure you do go over the edges of her body there so that you have that colour going right up to where she's standing, so that when we remove that mask, we don't kind of have a like a gap in the colour. So we want all of that filled in. All right, so that's the So Saffron. Now we're going to change up to the Sahara Sand, and we only want a little bit of Sahara Sand. This is hot work doing this blending, getting hot. All right, so we just want to create a little bit of sand in the distance, or a little bit of a different color where the sand is kind of wet. I was looking at some images of like perspective looking out to the ocean, and where the sand in the foreground of the photo was like really yellow, and then where the sand was wet going out to the ocean, it was a bit darker. So that's kind of the illusion I was going for. So make sure that you get in between her little arm here as well. Sorry, I'm turning that sideways. It just makes it easier for me to get to that. Oh, we've got a storm rolling in. Hope we don't lose power, because I will lose light if that happens. So up here under her arm as well. Let's take that up there. Okay, there we go. All right, now I might just go back in with the So Saffron just to blend those two a little bit more, and also to, I've come down a bit lower than I had meant to, so I'll take this up a little bit more, just blend those back in. It'll look very different once we've die cut it as well. But yeah, just blending those colors in together. Oh, I think it's starting to rain now too. There we go. Alrighty. And then we'll do our blue. So we're going to do our light blue first. So we're using Balmy Blue. And then we're going to go up to our darker Pacific Point. All right, let me see. Now I'm missing a few comments here. Oh, Robin's not crafting along today. She's just watching. That's fine, Robin. No worries. Monica said, made Christmas cookies. Oh, you made Christmas cookies today, yum. And now just watching me with lots of interest. Oh, that's good. Well, I hope that you pick up some tips today, Robin. Monica. Well, I hope Robin does too, but Monica was saying just watching me with lots of interest. Julie's doing some Christmas cards and using the tidings of Christmas. Oh, nice. Very good. How's everyone going with all their Christmas cards? We are still madly making ours to try and get them ready to send out. Oh, tidings and Christmas. Tidings and Christmas. Yeah, no worries. Yes, so still got a lot to do. I'm going to flip this over upside down. Now I am just going over the top part of her glass there because that part of the glass is actually empty because the wine is sitting in the bottom part of her glass. And so if we didn't colour that part, it would be white, but then you've got the blue sky in the background. So you would want to be seeing the blue sky behind it. Ordinarily, that's what you would see. So just going all across there with the light blue. That's looking pretty good. Got it a bit heavier on this side. It's funny, whenever I do this and I recreate projects, I never get them exactly the same coloration as I did with my first one, which is totally fine. It means every card is unique. But I'm just looking at my original as I'm doing this and thinking, oh, I'm going much deeper with the colors today. But that's okay. It's all good. All right, so we want to blend that down. We want to blend those colors in together so it looks like they're seamlessly sort of just transitioning between the colors. All right, so now let's bring in our Pacific Point. There we go. All righty, and I'm just going to pop my glasses on. It's getting a bit harder to see. All right, now Pacific Point is really dark, so just be really careful when you're applying your Pacific Point. Brush it off onto your paper first, and your scrap paper, and then take it in, and then take it over. So if you've ever looked at photographs of the sky, well, the one I was looking at was looking out over the beach. The top part of the sky is usually darker than the lower part of the sky, which will be lighter. But I guess it depends on the time of day and depends on the weather conditions and things like that. But this is going from the picture that I was looking at, the photo that I was looking at. It looked beautiful, such a beautiful scene. And the reason that I did the orange dress was because the picture that I was looking at, there was two ladies in the photo, and they both had orange dresses on with little bits of highlight of yellow detail on them, and I thought they looked so pretty and summery. So I thought, oh, perfect, I'm going to do an orange dress. Not this orange though, this is just the sticky note. We are going to properly colour the dress. All right, so there we go. So there we've got our background. And the sky doesn't have to be perfectly even because, you know, there's different variants of colour in the, variations, I should say, of colour in the sky. So they don't have to be, doesn't have to be, you know, all smooth. All right, so now what we're going to do is we are going to remove our little mask here. We'll just take that off very carefully. And we can colour our little lady there. There we go. Okay, so now you can see how she looks there on the background. Looks very different with the sticky note removed, doesn't it? So we're going to die cut this out as well when we're finished colouring. So you'll see how different it's going to look once it's finished. All right, so let's start off with her hat. Her hat is going to be in crumb cake because it's going to look like a straw hat. So I'm going to use the bullet tip and I'm just going to go underneath those little detail areas there where I think there'd be a bit of shadow. Okay. And then I'll take my light crumb cake Now this one's probably going to be a bit darker than my original too, because this is a brand new crumb cake that I got in another order yesterday. And because my original one was getting a little bit low and the tip was getting a bit shaggy too. So we just colour in her hat there. I love using the Stampin' blends. I just use a gentle circular motion, and you don't need to push hard with these at all. The colour just comes out of them beautifully, but I love working with them, how smooth the ink is and how beautifully you can blend those colours and get the highlights and things like that. So see, oh, I've got ink on my finger. I'll have to clean that off. So see, we've got just a little bit of shadowing or shading there on the hat. Let me just clean this ink off my finger. I'll use my chamois so that I don't get that on my image. There we go. Always getting inky fingers. Inky fingers is a sign of a good crafter, don't you think? Oh, Megan, you haven't started your Christmas cards yet. Oh, wow. You'll have to get a wriggle on. How many do you think you'll have to make? All right, let's do her hair next. Robin said she actually has today. Hers are all finished. Just need to post them out. Oh, well done, Robin. Wow, that's amazing. Fantastic. She just finished them all today. Good job. I was hoping to get mine in the mail this week, but we didn't get much done last week with a sick little puppy. So, in fact, I was lucky to get anything done at all last week. So, we lost a whole week. But that's okay. Tina said orange is opposite blue on the colour wheel, which will complement the blue sky. Ah, there you go. Well, I chose well, didn't I? I actually chose because of the photograph that I saw, and it looked really nice. So I thought, yep, they're the colours I'll use. So, yeah. All right, now with the dress, we have got 2 oranges. Well, we've got it's the one colour, actually. It's pumpkin pie, but we've got the light and the dark. So we're going to... Robin said, thank you. I've learnt tips from you today about masking. Oh, awesome, Robin. That's great. Yeah, masking is a great technique to use. All right, so we're going to just go over the creases in her dress here and her sleeves and her waist with the, this is the dark pumpkin pie that I'm using here, just to give a little bit of detail in her clothing there. And a little bit under her hair, because there'd be a little bit of shadow from her hair on the back of her dress. Okay. I'll just go inside her sleeve there too. There we go. Okay. You can even put some on the bottom of her dress there too if you wish to. All right, and then we're going to colour the whole dress with the light pumpkin pie, and we're going to blend out those dark, harsher lines, which will just give us that shadowing still, that bit of shading, but without having those really harsh lines. There we go. And I went carefully near her skin tone as well, because her skin is going to be really light, so I didn't want to get any of the orange on her skin there. Okay, so we just blend that out. There we go. Now for the bottom of her dress, you can just do it like so. Okay, and if just go back over any of those harsh lines that there might be, just to blend them down a little bit. There we go. Okay, so there's her dress done. So that was nice and easy, wasn't it? Oh, hang on, we've got a little bit of a harsh line just here. There we go, blend that down a little bit more. All right, so I'll now do the wine in her glass, and I'm just using the bullet tip for that because it's only a small little section, and I'm just barely touching that bullet tip on the cardstock. There we go. And now we'll do her skin tone. So I'm using the light petal pink for her skin tone. She's got fair skin like me, very fair, and it turns red very quickly in the sun, like after about 10 or 15 minutes. And two of my children have got skin even fairer than mine, especially my red-headed son. His is very, very fair, and he burns. He only needs to look at the sun and he burns. All right, so I'm just using the bullet tip this time because I want more control over the color, and it's only such a fine little area to do her skin tone. But the petal pink is great for a light skin tone. We also have the ivory. It's a little bit darker, so if you're doing more sort of like olive skin tones, then that's good too as well, but depending on what colors you want to use. So there we go. So there she is, all colored. Now we've got to do the railing, so I'm going to do that in bronze, and that's the last bit of coloring that we need to do. So there we go. I'm glad that you learnt about the masking today, Robin. That's awesome. Yeah, I like giving little tips and tricks about different things and different techniques. I actually have a technique club as well, and every month we focus on a different technique, and I teach people how to use those different techniques. And it's lots of fun, and we keep a little resource folder as well. We call it a technique notebook. And so we keep a little sample of each of the techniques that we do, and I give everyone instruction, like a PDF instruction tutorial on how to create the technique. And then I also give them a full video tutorial as well of the project. So if that's something that you might be interested in as well, let me know, because we've done masking. That's one of the techniques we've done. And we've done lots of others as well. We've been running Technique Club now for nearly 2 years. So it's super fun. All right, there we go. So there we've got our finished image, all colored. Isn't that gorgeous? Now it'll look even nicer when it's die cut. So let me bring in my die cutting machine. Now I have to bring in the big guy today because of this large die. It's just right on the edges. Ah, you did purchase 2 already from me, you think? Ah, okay. I'll have to go back and look at my records. You probably did, actually. Yeah, so this one only just fits on the it's very close for the mini. So I thought, oh, I think it's going to be a little bit too close. So rather than fiddle and cut it wrong or not have it cut completely, I thought I better use the large one just to be sure. There we go. So, yeah, Robin, I was just thinking that must have been a while ago because I'd actually forgotten about that until you reminded me. So that's really awesome. I did have one on masking as well. I'm not sure if I've put that one up on my blog yet, though. Some of my more recent ones haven't gone up on my blog for sale yet. Because with my Technique Club, for those of you that don't know, I do have regular participants who come to my Technique Club every month. I also do have guest spots available for those that might just want to do 1 or 2 here or there. And then some of my older ones I've actually got on my blog. I've got the tutorials on my blog for sale. Some of the previous ones that we've done. So if you want to check that out on my blog too, feel free to go to my blog and have a look. There's a tab there, or a button there, for Technique Club. So you can go, oh, I've got to stand up to do this one. So you can go there and have a look and see which ones I've got there for purchase. Beautiful. There we go, look at that. Now we're going to add a little bit of detail around the edges with that. So I'll show you how we're going to do that in a moment. But while we've got the die cutting machine out, we'll cut out our sentiment as well. So we'll just line that up. Can you all hear the rain and the thunder on camera? I wonder if you can hear it. The rain is getting really heavy now. They did say there was going to be storms today. So I'll use some of this washi tape to hold, oh, that one tore. I'll use some of this washi tape to hold my die down just so that it doesn't move, so it's all nicely lined up. There we go. And we'll pop that top plate. I love my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I've got the, as I was saying, I've got the large one and I've got the mini. The mini is great to have on hand right on your desktop. I often have that one right beside me. The big one comes in handy when you're using large dies. There we go. But the small one is really handy. It fits a lot of the dies, most of the dies. But some of the bigger dies need the bigger machine. All right, so there we go. So we've got those two pieces. Now we're going to bring back in, we're finished with our blends, so let's move them out of the way. There we go. And we're going to bring back in some of our ink because I'm going to add a little bit of detail around the sky at the top. And now normally I would do this with a dauber because I love sponging with daubers, but because I've got the brushes out today, I'm going to use the brushes. I'm just going to see if I need extra ink. I might not need too much extra. Hang on, I'll bring in my scrap. Just to darken the edges where that sky is. Yeah, so I normally like to do this with my dauber because when I'm doing inking on the edges or distressing on the edges, because I feel like I have a bit more control over the daubers than the brushes when I'm just doing the edges. But it can be done with the brushes too. You just need to be a little bit more careful and be careful of the angle that you're holding the brush as well to get that detail. There we go. So that just adds a little bit more detail there to the sky. Great. All right, there we go. So while we have got all of that out, we're going to bring in our Sahara sand and our sentiment label. And we're going to add some Sahara sand to our sentiment label because we want to distress that a little bit too. All right, so just go around the edges with our blending brush and our Sahara sand ink. There we go. Oh, it was a few months ago, Robin. Ah, right. Yes. Sorry, so much has happened in a few months. It's hard for me to remember things. Oh, Judy's back. Hi, Judy. Oh, you had a phone call and got woken up, did you? And you couldn't get back to sleep. Ah. Oh, thank you, Judy. Judy said looks good. Thank you. Robin said that looks awesome. Thanks. I'm glad you like it. All right, so there we've got a bit of distressing around our sentiment, which will go great with that. And now what we're going to do is we are going to do a bit of tearing with our paper. Now this paper has got this beautiful floral image on the other side, but it was a little bit much for our image. So I wanted to go with the timber look. So we're going to just tear just a very small section. So this is another technique. This is a distressing technique, tearing. So when you're tearing, you want to tear towards yourself. I'm using my other hand to guide where that tear is going to go and sort of supporting the paper. And you only want to tear a little bit at a time, because if you just ripped a whole big piece, you would have no control over where that tear went. So we just want to do a little piece at a time, continuing to tear towards yourself. And you will find that as you're tearing, the paper will tear better in one direction than in another, and that is because of the way of the grain in the paper. So you'll usually be able to tell which way the grain lays in the paper when you're tearing it, because you'll find that it'll tear much straighter. So I can tell that the grain in this paper runs this way, like the boards actually runs this way in the paper because of how the paper tears. It tears much more neatly this way, which means when I get to the other side, I've got to be more careful about controlling that tear because it's more likely to go out of control and get really wonky. It's good to have it a little bit wonky because you want it to sort of look rustic, but you don't want it to be so out of control that you lose the size that you need. So there you go. All right. Now, if you want to check, you can check that on your card base to make sure that's going to be the right size. Oh, big thunder. Yep, so that will be great. That'll be perfect size. All right. So now we're going to, I hope the power doesn't go out. So now we're going to change over again to our Sahara sand, and we're going to now brush that ink along the edges. So we're distressing the edges, those torn edges with the ink. Distressing is my favorite technique of them all. And if you've watched me before, you'll know that I do a lot of ink distressing on a lot of my projects. It's my favorite thing to do. Usually I use the daubers to do it though. I don't normally use the brushes, but because we are using the blending brushes today, we're using these to do our distressing. And it's also to show you that you can do it with the brushes. You just have to be a little bit more careful because you can get a little bit more ink on the edges because you've got a larger surface there. Oh, this storm is getting really bad now. That thunder is getting really loud. Can you hear the thunder? Oh, Megan said she heard that one. You'd be under the desk by now. I used to be like that. I'm not so frightened of it now. I used to be really scared of storms when I was younger. And even when I remember when I was at school, I was really little, probably in kindy or year 1 or something, and I vividly remember being so petrified of storms that my best friend had to cuddle me to comfort me during storms when we were at school. That's how scared I was when I was little. I'm not quite so scared of them now. I don't like them. I don't like driving in them. Then I get really scared. Oh, at least you don't have to water the garden. The rain will, with that rain and thunder. Exactly, Monica. Yes. Which is great because we've got some veggies growing now too. So John's planted our seasonal veggies. So they do need a good watering. And he picked the first cucumber yesterday. It was huge. Well, actually it wasn't huge. It was only about that long, but it was really, really fat one. Like it was, yeah, really juicy. So it was really cool. Oh, Judy says she loves distressing too. It's so effective. Yes, it is. Oh, Amber said it's mighty loud upstairs. Yeah, she's upstairs with the puppy. Yeah. Oh, Judy's got sunshine there. Oh, there we go. And Tina Marie's just back. She had to go and pick up her son. Ah, no worries. All right, so now we can start putting this all together. Oh, let's not forget our twine as well. I'll get that out. So I'm using the white Baker's Twine from the Baker's Twine Essential Pack. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to adhere our vellum first. Now with vellum, because it's opaque, you have to be sure that wherever you're putting the adhesive, it's going to be covered up by something, by another element on your, sorry, I'll move over this way a little bit, another element on your card. Now I know that this paper is going to be going around about here. So if I line this up in the center there, so I know this piece is going to be going about here. So that's kind of where I'm going to be wanting to put my vellum, my adhesive for my vellum. So I'm going to use a little bit of Stampin' Seal. All right, so I'm going to mark that there with my finger. Actually, I'll flip that over to the other side. There we go. Got more blue ink on me. And so I'm just going to, now sometimes with the tape runners, because the vellum is a little bit slippery, you might just need to help it to just to start off there. There we go. Because sometimes it doesn't like to start off on the vellum because the vellum is so slippery. There we go. So I'm just going to pop 3 little strips of adhesive there. Now when you're using vellum, I do recommend that you use a dry adhesive, not a liquid glue. I have found in the past that the liquid glue can tend to make the vellum buckle a little bit. It doesn't tend to like it too much, so I always use a dry adhesive. So if you don't like the Stampin' Seal or the Stampin' Seal Plus, you could try the tear and tape. So that's our double-sided tape. Oh, I don't know where it is. Oh, I think Amber's got it over on the other desk at the moment. Okay, so there we go. So that piece is going down. Now we're going to put down our timber piece. Sticky. So I don't know if this timber DSP has a particular way. I just kind of turn it until I think it looks better up that way, until I feel that it looks which way I like it to look, or which way it looks right to me. So there we go. So we're just going to pop that down there like so. So super easy. And then this one is going to get popped up onto dimensionals. So this is our focal image. Let's make sure we're happy with our focal image before we put it down. Yep, that's all good. So yeah, I went a little bit darker with the colors, as I said, on this one to what I did on my first one, but that's okay. They can all be different, can't they? They don't all have to be exactly the same. In fact, it makes it a unique individual project then, doesn't it? If they're not all the same. All right, so we'll pop some dimensionals down there. Remove the backings. I love using my Take Your Pick tool for this. For me, it's much easier than trying to use my nails. Sometimes I use my nails. All right, and then this is just going to go in the center here. Like so. And then we're going to be adding our label, and we're going to be adding our label to overlap her dress a little bit and have it coming down like so. But we're going to add some twine before we do that. But what I did with the other one was where it overlaps on to the image, it'll be one layer of dimensional. But this, remember, this piece is already up on one layer of dimensional, so 1 and 1 is 2. So anywhere where this is going to be connecting to the lower level of cardstock, it needs to be 2 layers of dimensional at that point. All right, I'll show you what I mean. I'm not going to stick it just yet, but I will put the dimensionals on the back. So on this top corner here, we want 1 dimensional. In fact, you know what? I'm going to use the minis because it only overlaps a little bit. So if you don't have minis, you can just cut the larger dimensionals in half. I'm just going to pop a mini up there, and then halfway along as well, where that's going to also be connecting with that layer of cardstock there. All right, now the other side is going to be hanging off. Hang on a sec. Oh yeah, that's right. It's all right. Just thought that didn't feel right then, but it's all good. Where it's hanging off onto this bottom layer of cardstock, we're going to need 2 layers there. So let's put 1, and we'll remove the backing of that one, and we'll add another one to the top there. And then all along the bottom of the sentiment, it's going to be attaching onto the card base, okay, which is the flat, the first level. So we're going to need 2 layers of dimensional all along the bottom there. So I'll keep using the minis. So I'll just pop 1 layer down first. We don't want to put any through the middle there at all this time because we're going to be running our twine through the middle. So we need to leave room for that to go across there. Right, so we're adding a 2nd layer. Because if we didn't add that 2nd layer, then the sentiment would sit wonky. Okay, so now when I attach that, that's going to sit nice and straight across there. All right, but before we attach it, we need to attach our twine. Oh, Judy said, oh, Tina Marie said, I have my volume up all the way and I can barely hear you. Oh, really? Oh, I'm sorry about that. Is anyone else having trouble hearing me? I'm right under my microphone. Or is that because of the storm? Oh, that's probably because of the storm. Judy said, Toby used to hate storms until I told him that the thunder was God playing bowling with them angels, and the lightning strikes were when God got a strike. Oh, I love that. He loves storms now. Sleeps well with them. I listen to the rainstorms on YouTube to get to sleep. Oh, that's cool. Robin can hear me fine. Oh no, Tina's got me turned up because of the rain on the tin roof. That's why. Ah, that makes sense. Okay. So that it's that loud there with the storm. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this around 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Actually, we're going 4 times. I'm going to overlap it a little bit here and bring this piece back around to the front, and that is where I'm going to tie it. So I'll just snip that off there. No idea how long that is because I just basically wrapped it around, and then we're going to tie a bow. Now we can manipulate this to where we want to have it, but we'll just get this tied first and then we'll move it to where we want it, and I'll show you how to do that. So tie our little bow. There we go. The storms, it's funny with the storms, isn't it? They always come in the afternoon. What is the time? Oh yeah, school pickup time. That's about right. That's the usual time they roll in. All right, now if your bow isn't in the right spot, what you can do is you just gently squeeze your card to make it curve and see how it slackens your twine there, or your ribbon. You can do this with ribbon too, and then you can maneuver it to where you want to have it. Okay, so I've slid that up a little bit, but I want to see where in relation to my, oh, I've almost got that in the right spot actually, where in relation to my sentiment my little bow is, and that's about right. That's about where I wanted it actually. Well, that worked out well. If it wasn't, what you can do is when you slacken that off is you can grab all of that and you can slide it along to where you want to have it. And then just make sure you've got that in the right spot before you adhere your sentiment. So yep, happy with that. All right, now we'll remove all of the backings from those dimensionals. And as I said, we've got some that are double layer, some that are single layer, depending on where they are going to be overlapping our focal image. And we're going to pop that down there like so. There we go. Beautiful. We've got our bow there. Let's trim that up a little bit. Trim that up. Let's separate our edges, or roughen up the edges, as I always like to do. Sorry, I keep going off camera. I've got my camera in a slightly different position today, and so I've left myself with less desk space to work on. And I keep going off camera. There we go. So we just separate the ends of the twine, so that gives a little bit more interest. Now I do like to pop a little glue dot under my bows always to keep them in place. Now, because the twine is so small, what we can do is we can roll a glue dot into a ball. So I like to do it on the paper. You can do it in your fingers if you like, but of course it will take off some of the sticky. Just use your roll here to help you to get that rolled into a ball. And then I'll just push it off the end there with my nail. All right, so it's right on the, can you see that? Right on the tip there of my take your pick tool. And then I'm going to slip that under that twine there to hold that in place so that that bow will not move and will not come undone. There we go. Great. Now all we've got to do is add our, actually I'm going to need to shorten that one. That one's a little bit too long. It's hanging off the end of the card. Can't have that. It'll get caught in the envelope. And it'll sit funny when it stands up as well, when the card is standing up. There we go. That's better. Beautiful. All right, and now we can add our embellishments, which is the classic matte dots from the new Mini Catalogue. I love these. It's great to have some in some basic colors as well. As I was saying earlier, in case you miss it, I'll say it again. So we've got, they come in the pack with basic white, very vanilla, basic grey, and basic black. So they're really fantastic. We're going to use some grey ones today. So I'm using a large one down the bottom corner here. Then I'll use a small one there, and another small one over here on the sentiment layer. There we go. So there is our project today completed. So, oh, the inside. Oh, I forgot the inside. Okay, so let me tell you about the inside. So this is the insert for the card, and I already did, the original one I already put an insert in as well. I thought I'll do the insert today, but I did it ahead of time to save a little bit of time. So what I did is I just took a piece of basic white cardstock. I cut it at 9.9 centimeters by 14.25 centimeters, and that creates a 3mm border around the edge of your card. And then I just took a piece of that same designer series paper. I cut a strip which was the width of one of those boards on the paper, and I inked the edges. I inked the edges of, ooh, big thunder. I inked the edges in the same way using the blending brush and the Sahara sand ink of the white piece, and then I also did the strip before I adhered it down. Adhered it down just up a little bit from the bottom. Now we can adhere that into our card. So that is my quick version of doing an insert. It's always nice to have something on your insert, whether it be stamping, a bit of designer series paper, punched shape, something like that. It's always nice to dress up the inside as well, because you spend all the time dressing up the outside. It's nice to have the inside looking pretty as well. So there we go. So there's our insert, and there's the outside. So there's my little summer card for today. Oh, thanks, Robin. Robin says it looks awesome. Oh, hey, Navon, how are you? Navon said, well, you are good at bars. I could never do that little thing. You're good at bars. I could never do that little thing. I'm not sure what you're referring to, Navon. You have to elaborate. Bars. Good at bars. What are bars? Or is that a typo? I'm not quite sure. Oh, Judy said, I need some more of those. I'm out. Use them up on my Christmas cards. Oh, the embellishments, Judy? No, not the embellishments. These ones aren't released yet. These ones are from the new mini catalogue. Oh, bows. Bows. Navon meant bows. I'm good at bows. Well, this one went really well today. Sometimes it takes me a couple of times, but yes, I did okay today with this one. Yeah, I just was lucky today, I think. Oh, embellishments, Judy. Yes, you need some more embellishments. Okay, well, there is free shipping tomorrow. I put this promotion up earlier. Excuse the size of it. I'm sorry, I accidentally chose photo size paper instead of A4 paper. But tomorrow, the 8th of December, there is free shipping on all orders over $45. So if there was anything else that you needed as well, or you wanted $45 worth of embellishments, feel free to pop in an order tomorrow, the 8th of December, and you won't pay for shipping. So there you go. Yeah, so these ones that I've used today, the classic matte dots, these ones will be available in the brand new mini catalogue that'll be available to customers from the 4th of January. So these ones are brand new. Not yet released, except if you're a demonstrator, you can get them right now. Julie said, very nice. Oh, yes, you realised that she meant bows. Oh, good pickup, Julie. Yeah, I was thinking bars. What was it? I was thinking of the bars here on the railing. I was thinking, not sure what she meant. Bows. Gotta love autocorrect, hey? Oh, thanks, Judy. Judy said gorgeous card. Julie said very nice. Robin says it looks awesome. Thanks, everyone. Oh, Navon said she just ordered that set from the cards you're making. Oh, the stamp set. Did you order it in the demonstrator pre-order, Navon? That's awesome. Yeah, it's really beautiful. This is a really lovely stamp set. I love this one. The next one I think I'm going to use is the one with the puppy dog, because especially that we've just spent the last week looking after our puppy dog. Yes, I really love that one. So yeah, so there you go. All right. Well, I hope that you learnt some new tips and tricks. Can you see the difference in the colors? So today I went much heavier with the colors. And I think I did my sky better on the first one actually than on today's one. But yeah, I did go a bit heavier today with the colors, probably because I was talking. I was talking as I was doing it, not paying attention. Yeah, but all good. Still looks great, I think. So there we go. All right, well, I might tip the camera back up to my face so that I can say goodbye to you face to face, as I always like to do. And nice stamp set. Yes, this one's also a new one, Judy. That's going to be in the new mini catalogue in January, from the 4th of January. Yeah, it's really beautiful. Beautiful sentiments in this one too. Oh, you like the heavier colours, Judy? Oh, awesome. Cool. Oh, well, there you go. See, everyone likes something different, don't they? Oh, you're very welcome, Navon. You're very, very welcome. All right, let me flip up the camera and I will say goodbye to you properly, because, you know, it's nice to do that face to face. Oh, excuse my squeaky stand again. It's always so squeaky, isn't it? All right. There we go. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Flip those cameras and adjust my light. Oh, look, there we go. We're up in the sky again. There we go. All right. Gorgeous. So there we've got my cards. Got my 2 cards there. Oh, hang on. Whew. I'm hot now. All that work, all that colouring. It's hot work. Let's go this way. So which one do you like, the darker one or the lighter one? Judy likes the darker one. I think I like the lighter one. Oh, I don't know. They both look good. Yeah, they're both pretty. But isn't it a beautiful stamp set? So nice. I love that sentiment. So there you go. Well, thank you all for joining me today. Now remember, if you've got any... Ah, Navon likes the darker one. Oh, Tina Marie says, now she can hear me. Now that I'm finished. Oh, darn those storms. They just come at the wrong time, don't they? Well, thankfully I didn't lose power today because a few weeks ago there was a storm in the afternoon. Oh, no, actually that was a morning storm, because that was one of my Thursday lives and I do them in the morning. And I lost power, so I lost my lighting and everything. It was terrible, but I kept going. Oh, see you later, Navon. Thanks for being here. Okay, so Navon likes the darker one. Monica says she likes both. Judy likes the darker one. She said the colours give more depth. Oh, well, there you go. Thanks, Judy. And Robin likes today's card with the darker colours too. Oh, you're very welcome, Robin. Robin's thanking me for my time today. You're very welcome. I love coming on here and crafting with you all. I really enjoy it. It's so much fun. And I love it when you are interacting with me and chatting with me. It's like you're here with me, even though I can't see you, but you can see me. So thank you so much for being with me today. If anyone's got any questions about any of the products that I used today or any of the techniques I use, feel free to send me a message. If there's anything I can help you with, let me know. And remember, if you would like a copy of that new catalogue, hang on, I'll grab it and hold it back up for you again. If you would like a copy of the new mini catalogue that's coming out in January, then let me know. I have, those of you who are my customers and have ordered with me in the last 6 months, yours have already been ordered for you and they will be sent out to you very soon. You should start to receive them very, very soon. We also have the celebration brochure, because we've got celebration happening again in January, another one, which is awesome, where you can earn free products, which is awesome. And wait until you see this mini catalogue. Oh my goodness, there are so many beautiful products, as you can see by my wish list. See, this is my wish list. Yeah, you're just gonna love it. So if you don't already have one, if you're not already my customer and you don't have a demonstrator that you're working with, let me know. I'd love to send one out to you. And yes, oh, Judy said goodie, she loves celebration. Yes, celebration is the best because you get free stuff, so it's really cool. Now remember, tomorrow is the free shipping promotion for 1 day only, starting tonight at midnight, finishing tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. You can get free shipping on all orders over $45. That's Australian, 45 Australian dollars. If you're in a different country, it'll be a different amount depending on your currency. So check that out. If there's anything that you need to stock up on, then tomorrow is a great day to do it. All right, well, I will leave it there. Have a great afternoon, everybody. I will be back on live on, what day are we now? We're Tuesday. Thursday at 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time for a quick and easy project, which I don't know what that's going to be yet. I haven't decided. Oh, yes, I did have one in mind, actually. Let's see if I go with that one that I had in mind or if I use a new one. I might use some more new product. You never know. We'll see. All right, and I've got brand new product on its way to me from the new mini catalog, so I will probably be doing an unboxing at some point of that as well, so watch out for that. But I look forward to seeing you all again online really soon. Oh, Judy said, when do we get the mini catalog? Yours has already been ordered for you, Judy, because you are one of my regular customers. Yours has been ordered for you. It should be arriving at your door anytime soon. So yes, so look forward to that. That's it. I think I got all the comments. Awesome. Okay, I'll let you all get on with the rest of your day. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Enjoy the rain if you're in Sydney and getting that rain right now. And I'll see you all again soon. Happy crafting, everyone. Bye.